What really happened to Albert Wesker? Are the Ashford twins more than an Easter egg? Does Chief Irons know more than he's letting on? All that and more right here. Spoilers ahead. The Resident Evil film saga gets a reboot with 2021's Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City. Skewing more closely to Capcom's original video games than the previous film series, this new spin on the Umbrella Corporation's ghastly experiments with bioorganic weapons takes players back to the beginning. Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City opens with the brother-sister duo of Chris and Claire Redfield as children in the Raccoon City orphanage. Claire is visited by Lisa Trevor, a tragic monster whose backstory is unexplored in this movie. Unlike in the 2002 remake of the original Resident Evil, however, Lisa is not a raging monster, but a scared little girl who, despite her ghastly visage, only wants to be Claire's friend. The true villain of the intro, and indeed the whole film, is Dr. William Birkin, who uses the orphanage as a source of fresh meat for testing his viral concoctions. As in Resident Evil 2, Birkin is shot by an agent looking to secure a sample of the G virus. He survives by injecting himself with the experimental serum and transforming into a monster. His first form is taken down by Chris and Claire's well-placed shotgun slugs and a point-blank handgun headshot. Like any classic Resident Evil final boss, however, he returns in an even more mutated state. He nearly kills the Redfield siblings before Leon shows up with a rocket launcher and takes him out for good with a missile to the face. This is most definitely a nod to the video games, where this kind of thing happens all the time. Having a rocket launcher appear in the film's climax is a true gift to fans of the games.
You figured out the one thing I wanted more than anything else in the entire world, and you got it for me, and it's perfect.
One of the biggest divergences from the games in Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City comes in the form of the leader of the doomed STARS team sent to investigate the Spencer mansion. What's his name? Oh yeah,
Albert Wesker.
In the game, Wesker is a double agent who has been working for the Umbrella Corporation all along, helping to create their bioorganic weapons and basically causing all kinds of problems and being a jerk to the heroes.
You guys are idiots.
In the movie, he has no loyalty to Umbrella, yet he still betrays his team. This time, it's out of financial desperation and a desire to leave Raccoon City, a corporate town that would be seen as dying even if the entire population wasn't turning into flesh-eating zombies. He's given a Palm Pilot with a map of the mansion and instructions to retrieve a sample of the G virus. This puts him on a crash course with Dr. William Birkin, which doesn't end well for either of them. As in Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City ends with the heroes and young Sherry Birkin on an Umbrella cargo train leaving the city. But in the original Resident Evil, they escape via helicopter thanks to STARS pilot Brad Vickers, who rescues them from the roof of the mansion after throwing down the rocket launcher they used to defeat the first tyrant. Brad Vickers does show up in the movie, but he doesn't make it past the mansion. He's ambushed by zombies, flies his helicopter into the mansion, and dies in a massive explosion that nearly kills Jill and Wesker. Between the train escape and what was almost a helicopter rescue, Welcome to Raccoon City manages to nod to both of the games that inspired it. Whether we're talking about the original games or Paul W.S. Anderson's films, the fate of Raccoon City is always bleak. In Resident Evil 3, the city is wiped off the map by a missile strike, which contains the outbreak at a terrible cost. In Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City, the destruction of Raccoon City is portrayed somewhat differently. Rather than a tactical strike from outside the city limits, Raccoon City is essentially made to self-destruct through an underground detonation. Apparently, Umbrella has had the entire city rigged to implode in the event of an outbreak, as a failsafe system to contain any prospective infection. While some fans might be upset to see this different version of Raccoon City's destruction, it's worth noting that Resident Evil Apocalypse, while often ridiculed by gamers, does feature a faithful recreation of the missile strike shown in Resident Evil 3. So sure, it makes sense for the new movie to try something different. After Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City ends, a brief scene interrupts the credits, showing the return of Albert Wesker. No, he didn't survive being shot to death by Jill Valentine. He's being revived by the mysterious benefactor who ordered him to steal Umbrella's secrets. This person reveals herself to be none other than Ada Wong, the fan-favorite spy who made her debut appearance in Resident Evil 2. She explains that she brought Wesker back to life and hands him a pair of sunglasses. In the games, Wesker is almost never seen without his iconic sunglasses. He's the Rex Kramer of the video game world.
All right, Steve, let's face a few facts.
The post-credit scene works as something of an origin story for this new take on one of the most popular villains in video game history. It's also worth noting that this Wesker and Ada occupy roles that are the opposite of the ones they hold in the games. There, Ada works for Wesker during the Raccoon City incident, as shown in the Death's Door scenario of 2007's Resident Evil: The Umbrella Chronicles. By the time the events of 2005's Resident Evil 4 roll around, Ada is ostensibly aligned with Wesker, but secretly working with a still unknown employer. In Resident Evil: Welcome to Raccoon City, Wesker is basically a regular cop Ada introduces to a new world of espionage and intrigue. In the wake of Raccoon City's destruction, William Birkin's death, and Albert Wesker's resurrection, unanswered questions emerge. Firstly, does Lisa Trevor survive? In the game, she's nigh invincible, only dying for good when the mansion explodes around her.
Be a good girl and stay dead this time.
In the film, she shows off her physical strength when she tears a liquor apart in physical combat. Thus, she and her video game counterpart clearly have physical traits in common. Much of her game-bound backstory doesn't appear in the film, however. Will fans learn more in a subsequent film? Secondly, who is Ada Wong working for? In both the games and Resident Evil: Welcome to Raccoon City, Ada Wong is a mysterious agent with a penchant for spy games.
I was just some pawn to you?
Look, I'm just doing my job.
It's a sure bet she'll play a key role in a sequel if the box office fates allow it. Thirdly, how much does Chief Irons know about Umbrella? In the games, Brian Irons, the RPD's chief of police, is an outright villain who murders the mayor's daughter and nearly kills Sherry Birkin. In the movie, he seems to know about Umbrella's dastardly deeds, but he's not a villain. In fact, he even brings Claire and Leon to the Raccoon City orphanage and tells them how to get to Spencer Mansion before getting attacked and killed by a licker. He's likely in on Umbrella's plot to some degree, but whether or not that qualifies him as an outright bad guy is open to debate. Traditionally, each game in the Resident Evil saga tells its own story, set within a wider, interconnected world. Sometimes characters and storylines are dropped for years before being picked up again. For example, Sherry Birkin from 1998's Resident Evil 2 doesn't make another proper canonical appearance until 2012's Resident Evil 6, where she appears as one of the main playable characters. The point is, with characters coming in and out of the games all the time, a film sequel could conceivably go anywhere. In Resident Evil: Welcome to Raccoon City, the story wraps up in a reasonably airtight fashion, meaning the filmmakers have their options open when it comes to how to approach a sequel. Teasing the Ashford twins might be more than just an Easter egg. A second movie could adapt portions of 2000's Resident Evil: Code Veronica, which takes Chris and Claire to an Antarctic base where they fight the Ashfords and a powered-up Wesker. In the game's canon, Jill's next key appearance following the destruction of Raccoon City occurs in Resident Evil 5, where she is brainwashed by Wesker to fight against her old allies.
Still resisting at such an advanced stage. Commendable, yet futile.
Leon next appears in the beloved Resident Evil 4. Though it's tonally different from the prior games, it wouldn't be surprising to see some variation of that entry's Leon in Spain premise form the basis of a future Resident Evil movie. Finally, while the Umbrella Corporation is the main antagonist of the film and most Resident Evil projects, it's mostly absent from Resident Evil: Welcome to Raccoon City. However, the film's ending suggests they will continue to be the villains of future projects. If so, Oswell Spencer, the founder of Umbrella, who is mentioned by name in the film, will likely make an appearance. As he has a close relationship with Albert Wesker in the games, this new film series could do something interesting with their particular dynamic. Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more Looper videos about your favorite movies are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.